seen me here many times at this table in the past. I know me and Nikki's prepped food and bottles and rice. We've went over so many different things with food. It's something I want to share with you before the big move. You know, this is the year of the big move for us. Is that I have heavily invested in the 20-year shelf life food cans, especially the number 10 cans, as far as going into our root cellar on the new property. And I've got some notes that I want to share with you today because I've been studying on this heavily over the past couple years. But not only that, if you want to get plenty of food storage that's across the board, multiple distributors that, you know, some people may be fans of Mountain House, you know, some may be fans of Augustin Farms, and there's so many others. These are two of my faves. Is that you can get these at campingsurvival.com. Not only that, they're a sponsor of the channel now, so you can check out the link in the video description below as well. They're great folks. They offer a whole line of stuff, which we'll be showing some other things in videos to come, because I also picked up some antibiotics recently because I wanted to share something with you about that that I've learned from some of my medical professional friends. But anyway, I want to talk the number 10 can storage. All right, there's 4 things that affect this stuff based on my research, okay? And I'm not touting to be no expert at this, okay? Because this is a big swap over for me the past couple years, because all the years that from a child up, my grandmother, me and her would can together, and, you know, put that on the shelf. And it's a huge gear change up for me as far as this goes, because, I mean, number one, the other bad thing is I don't know how to cook. So I have to consult with Nikki. I'm like, you know, do you need butter? Do you need this? What does this go with this to make this? You know, it's all like a science class. So anyway, temperature, all right? Everybody, I've seen this with MREs in the past. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, you can just chunk in things on the shelf and they'll be fine. I've noticed that if you put it in a bug-out bag and you carry it with you, say it's a hot summer month, that MRE might last a month and it's going to be bad. Then you got to chunk it. Now, if it's freezing cold out there, like -5, that thing would have been good for, you know, 10 years in your bug-out bag. So, you know, it affects everything. And I thought, well, I'm fine with the number 10 cans because, heck, right, it's freeze-dried and it's stored. That's not the case. If you're going to do storage of these, it needs to be in a very cool environment. I mean, very cool. You know, even lower than 60 degrees would be ideal. Now, most root cellars are going to hover in the 60 to 70 degree range probably. And at that temperature, if you can get it to 60, then the 20-year range on this stuff, you can absolutely count on it being there based on the statistics. Now, I'm shooting for 70 degrees is probably where my root cellar will finish out, and hopefully we'll get that finished up later this year, but we got some other things to move, tiny house and all. That is where I'm thinking that it's going to be at, kind of on the homestead, and so that's a 10-year shelf life. And I honestly don't plan to set this stuff and it go 20 years. You know, I'm going to rotate it, use it. I mean, it's actually great stuff. Especially fruit cans. I'll pop open fruit cans and eat them all the time. But the other thing, okay, so that's the big one, is the temperature thing that you need to keep up with. The other thing is moisture content. So once you open a can, all right, you've popped the lid off, all right, and you've took your handy opener, all right, and cut open the can, and then put the lid back on. Then this is where this comes into play, moisture content. If the moisture content builds up in the can, you know, because a lot of stuff is dehydrated, like, you know, banana slices, some things may be dehydrated, some things may be freeze-dried, some things may just be canned. And so if moisture gets to, say like freeze-dried, if moisture builds up in something that's been freeze-dried, like strawberries, for example, the moment you put a freeze-dried strawberry in your mouth, it'll start getting moisture back into it again. And if you do that, then and you set the can in there like it's a really moist environment, then that can build up and ruin the food as well. And container atmosphere, that's another thing which kind of rolls in with the moisture content thing. You know, atmospheric conditions are different someplace. If you live in Colorado, you know, or no, I'll give you an example where I've been in Alaska. It may be very cold and dry. Here it may be in Tennessee very cold and wet. So there you go again. The atmospheric conditions can determine the moisture in there, which can also determine if you have this stuff set and it can ruin it. And lastly is the storage container itself. Something that you can find out there is, like I said, you can get these a whole variety of food at campandsurvival.com. Like I said, the links in the video description below. But regardless of wherever you've bought food, whether it's now, you're looking to buy food, or you bought it before, something that I'm going behind and doing now, because I've noticed of having this stuff on the shelf over the past couple of years, where I've been building up my supply and replacing what I've had in the past of just canned food and MREs and stuff, is that you need to take a can lid that's for the top. See, there's already a can lid on the top protecting it, obviously. But it's nice to put it on the bottom, on the shelf. And that way, you're protecting the moisture from getting to the can, because then that way, say you have it sitting there a long time, then you're not going to have to worry about rust and then the can deteriorating and maybe moisture getting into the can and ruining the food. Just a thought, because I have had something bust on one of my racks before, and it actually rusted a bunch of my cans and ruined it. And this stuff can happen in no time flat. You think that it might not, but another thing is just rats, pestilence, anything like that, that, you know, this is going into your home to eat. So that's just an extra little bit of protection, an extra lid. And plus, when you use up stuff, if you don't want to buy extra lids, when you use up your canned food, you can save the lids and then use them to go on the bottoms of other cans. But man, you can get a whole variety nowadays of just about anything you want. Fruits, breads, cheeses, like especially with the Mountain House, the pastas and things like this. And guys, you can get those in the pouches too. You don't have to do the whole number 10 can thing. I mean, there's even little doodads to go with it, like the hot sauce. You know, my wife, she's hot sauce fanatic. I don't like anything hot. I'm the honey bear kind of guy, you know, so we're two different ends of the spectrum. But I mean, these are the things that I've discovered in my studies on this, and I've noticed also, I guess the last note I make that I didn't write down, is that when you open the foods, and then, you, like for example, if you're going to open a can of fruit, and then you're not going to go back to that for a long time, I think it's wise to make sure that your moisture absorber packet in it, that, you know, you lay it pretty much toward the top of the food. Like if you've already opened the can, just make sure that moisture packet's kind of up toward the top. And that way, if any moisture comes in the can, it's taken to it right then. Because I've noticed that the content, the strawberry, it's just not exactly the same after you've opened something and left it for a while. In the past, I've noticed that with the number 10 can stuff. Anyways, guys, this is the ticket for the future, I'm telling you, because MREs are great. I'm a huge fan of MREs, and I think you should have some of those sitting around, absolutely. And you know, from years and years of experience, I'm going on 32 years old, and from a child up, all we've done is canned food on the farm, and that's a great thing. But I learned a long time ago that you got to swap from that to vacuum sealing, if at all possible, because that way you still have the nutrient in the food. And if you want to see a video about making your own vacuum sealer, you can see it right there, where I made one in the past and show you how to swap over a can or two vacuum sealer. But guys, if you want to get you 20-year shelf life food, you can check this out at campandsurvival.com. Got a whole host of food selections and varieties of vendors. It's insanity. I can't even begin to label it all. But you can check that out. And until we see you again here at 7 Trumpets Prayer Channel, I hope you have a most blessed day in Yahushua.